Have you ever felt overwhelmed by anxiety or plunged into a sadness that seems never-ending? It's as if, amid the chaos of everyday life, it's impossible to find a way out, a solution that really works. What if I told you that the answers you're looking for lie in an ancient philosophy that has stood the test of time, offering practical and powerful tools to deal with these emotions? Yes, Stoicism, with its timeless wisdom, offers us 10 solutions that not only promise, but actually help to overcome anxiety and sadness. These Stoic strategies, when applied, can transform your life, bringing the peace and balance you've been seeking. And the best part? They're simple, straightforward, and can be implemented right now. Want to know how? Then keep reading and discover how the teachings of the great Stoics can be the key to overcoming the emotional challenges we face today. Please help us share this message of hope and encouragement with others who may be at their own crossroads, uncertain about what the future holds, by liking, commenting, and subscribing to our channel. Topic 1. Be a better friend to yourself. The wisdom of Stoicism offers us a valuable lesson. Be kind to yourself. We live in an era where self-criticism has become a harmful habit, leading many to get lost in a cycle of negative thoughts. However, the Stoics teach us that true strength lies in recognizing our flaws with compassion. Being a friend to yourself means accepting your humanity, understanding that making mistakes is part of personal development and that each obstacle is an opportunity to grow. Just as a good friend calms us in stressful moments, we must learn to calm ourselves as well. To practice this kindness towards yourself, the modern Stoic might adopt mindfulness practices that help keep the mind in the present and avoid the spiral of self-criticism. This isn't just philosophy, it's a practical strategy for living better. Imagine that after a difficult day, instead of torturing yourself with thoughts of failure, you dedicate a few minutes to deep breathing, calming your mind, and accepting what cannot be changed. This small change can transform your perception and, over time, strengthen your resilience. Treating yourself with understanding and compassion is not an act of weakness, but of wisdom. When we allow ourselves to be kind, we create space for recovery and true personal growth. Imagine an athlete who, after an injury, decides to ignore the pain and continue training. The result could be devastating. Similarly, ignoring our emotional pain can break us. The Stoics teach us that we need to respect our limits, understanding that rest is part of the strengthening process. However, this practice of self-care does not mean indulgence or lack of discipline. On the contrary, the Stoics preach that self-care must be balanced with self-discipline. A practical example of this is maintaining a daily routine that includes moments of reflection, where you evaluate your progress without harsh judgment. This is being a friend to yourself, acknowledging your achievements, but also your areas of improvement with patience and determination. Another powerful tool for being kinder to yourself is using relaxation techniques. Stoicism values mental clarity, and meditation can be a great ally in this regard. Dedicating a few minutes each day to disconnect from external worries and focus on your breathing is a simple way to cultivate this inner peace. Meditation helps reduce anxiety and maintain focus on what truly matters, promoting a calmer and more disciplined mind. Finally, being a friend to yourself involves recognizing that you deserve to be treated with the same respect and care that you offer to others. The Stoics remind us that by cultivating self-compassion, we are actually strengthening our ability to deal with life's challenges more serenely and effectively. If you make a mistake, don't dwell on it. See it as a lesson, an opportunity to learn and do better next time. And so, by adopting this more compassionate stance, you begin to realize that anxiety and constant self-criticism lose their power. Stoic philosophy is not about becoming superhuman, but about embracing your humanity more fully and consciously. Now imagine if, besides being kind to yourself, you also set aside time to take care of your mental health, as Seneca reminds us. Topic 2. Set aside time to care for your mental health. Stoicism, with its millennial wisdom, teaches us that mental health is one of the most important pillars of a balanced life. Seneca, one of the great masters of Stoic philosophy, emphasized that we cannot neglect the mind, for it is the foundation of our existence. In times of so much information and social pressure, setting aside time to care for our mental health is more than an act of self-care. It's a vital necessity. Just as we nourish the body with a healthy diet, the mind also requires attention and practices that promote its well-being. The Stoics understood that mental balance is achieved through simple but powerful practices. A walk outdoors, for example, can do wonders for the mind. The act of walking not only stimulates the body, but also frees the mind from daily worries. When you walk, especially in nature, your brain has the chance to relax, process thoughts, and find clarity. Seneca would suggest that while walking, you reflect on your challenges, not with anxiety, but with the serenity of someone who knows that every problem has a solution. In addition to walking, meditation is another practice that the Stoics valued, and that is essential for mental health. Meditating is a way to train the mind to focus on the present, reducing the anxiety that often paralyzes us. Imagine starting the day with a few minutes of meditation, just you and your breath. This can help set a calmer and more controlled tone for the rest of the day, allowing you to deal with challenges more balanced. Daily meditation is like a gym for the mind, strengthening your ability to handle stress. Caring for mental health, according to the Stoics, also involves the practice of detachment. We often cling to worries and fears that consume us, but Stoic philosophy teaches us to focus on what we can control and to let go of what is beyond our reach. This is not resignation, but a way to free the mind so that it can function more effectively. By detaching from unnecessary worries, you make room for inner peace and personal development. Another way to care for mental health is through physical exercise. The body and mind are intrinsically connected, and physical movement can have a profound impact on our mentality. Practicing a sport or exercising regularly releases endorphins, the feel-good hormones that help keep the mind positive and resilient. The Stoics believed in the balance between body and mind, and nothing exemplifies this better than a workout routine that also nurtures the spirit. It's important to remember that caring for mental health is not something that should be done sporadically, but a continuous practice. Just as we cultivate a garden, our mind needs regular care to flourish. This might mean, for example, setting aside daily time to read a good book, write in a journal, or simply do something you love. Small habits, when practiced consistently, can completely transform your life, bringing more clarity, focus, and serenity. Topic 3. Embrace what comes your way. Stoicism teaches us that acceptance is one of the greatest virtues we can develop. When we resist what life brings us, we create unnecessary suffering for ourselves. Imagine a cart in motion. The dog accompanying it can choose to follow its course or resist, being dragged and hurt in the process. Similarly, in life, when we accept what is beyond our control, we pave the way for inner peace and adaptation. The modern Stoic understands that resistance to the inevitable is a lost battle, and that true power lies in the ability to embrace what comes. This acceptance should not be confused with passivity or resignation. On the contrary, it is an act of courage and intelligence. Acceptance means recognizing reality for what it is, without trying to mold it to our will. For example, if you face a difficult situation at work, such as a project that isn't going well, instead of resisting and stressing over it, the Stoics suggest that you observe the situation with clarity, accept the facts as they are, and then calmly work on possible solutions. This is the way to reduce suffering and increase effectiveness. Acceptance is also deeply linked to the idea of control. The Stoics divide things into two categories, those we can control and those we cannot. When you understand this distinction, your mind is freed from the burden of trying to control the uncontrollable. This can be applied in various areas of life, from relationships to health situations. If someone close to you is facing an illness, for example, you cannot control the disease, but you can control how you deal with this reality by offering support, staying calm, and accepting the process. This concept can also be applied to failure, an experience common to all of us. Instead of fighting against the feeling of defeat, Stoicism encourages us to embrace failure as a natural part of the learning process. When we fail, we have the opportunity to reflect, learn, and grow. An athlete, for example, who loses a competition can choose to see this as a devastating failure or as a chance to understand their weaknesses and work to improve them. By embracing defeat, they prepare for future victory. Stoic acceptance also involves the practice of living in the present. Often, our resistance to reality comes from our insistence on living in the past or future. By practicing mindfulness, you learn to focus on the now, embracing the present moment without judgment. This not only reduces anxiety, but also allows you to live more fully and consciously. The Stoics teach us that the present is all we truly have, and learning to live it fully is one of the greatest gifts we can give ourselves. Acceptance can also be a powerful tool for facing loss and change in life. When we lose something or someone, it's natural to feel pain. But Stoicism teaches us that change and loss are inevitable parts of life. By accepting this reality, we not only overcome the pain but also find the strength to move forward. Acceptance doesn't mean not feeling, but rather allowing those feelings to flow without resistance, knowing that like everything in life, they will also pass. Now imagine how transformative it would be to embrace this practice of acceptance and then learn to cultivate gratitude for what you already have, avoiding the trap of always seeking more. Topic 4. Embrace gratitude and stop always seeking more. In the incessant pursuit of more, whether it be success, material goods, or recognition, we often forget to appreciate what we already have. Stoicism invites us to take a step back and reflect on the true source of happiness: gratitude. Instead of constantly chasing something new, the Stoics teach that satisfaction lies in valuing what we already possess. Stoic philosophy reminds us that by cultivating gratitude, we can find contentment and peace, avoiding the trap of continuous dissatisfaction. To embrace gratitude, it's important to start practicing it consciously. A practical exercise is keeping a gratitude journal where you daily note 3 things you are grateful for. This simple habit can transform your perspective on life, helping you focus on the blessings that often go unnoticed. Imagine starting the day reflecting on the small things that make your life better, such as health, the love of a friend, or the beauty of a sunny day. This act of acknowledgement shifts the focus from what is lacking to what is already abundant in your life. Moreover, Stoicism teaches us to value internal experiences instead of external ones. Many people seek happiness in material or social achievements, but the Stoics believe that true satisfaction comes from within. When we stop incessantly seeking more, we make room for the development of virtues such as wisdom and justice. Instead of accumulating wealth, the Stoics encourage us to accumulate virtues. For example, instead of striving to buy the most expensive car, the modern Stoic might choose to invest in personal growth, whether through reading, courses, or self-knowledge practices. Gratitude also helps us deal with the temptation of consumerism. In a world that constantly bombards us with messages that we need more to be happy, the Stoics remind us that less is more. By simplifying life and focusing on the essential, we find more lasting happiness. A useful practice is reflecting on sufficiency. Ask yourself, what do I really need to be happy? Often you'll find that the answer lies in something you already possess, whether it's a healthy relationship, a cozy home, or the freedom to be who you are. This philosophy also extends to the professional field. Instead of comparing yourself to co-workers and feeling constantly pressured to climb the career ladder, the Stoics encourage us to focus on our own path, recognizing personal achievements and being grateful for them. Success for the Stoics is not measured by titles or salaries, but by internal satisfaction and the accomplishment of a job well done. This shift in perspective can relieve the pressure of constantly seeking more, allowing for a more balanced and rewarding professional life. Finally, it's important to remember that gratitude is not just a feeling, but an active practice. By living with gratitude, you become more present and aware of the good things in your life. This doesn't mean you should settle, but that you should recognize and value what you already have, while working with patience and wisdom to achieve new goals. This daily practice of gratitude reinforces personal development and makes us better people, aligned with the Stoic principles of a virtuous and balanced life. Now think about how powerful it would be to stay focused on your own path without being distracted by comparisons, valuing your individual progress. Topic 5. Stay focused on your own path. In a world full of distractions and constant comparisons, staying focused on your own path is a challenge. Stoic philosophy teaches us the importance of following our personal journey without being sidetracked by others' achievements and opinions. The concept of euthymia, as mentioned by Seneca, refers to a state of inner tranquility, where one is not disturbed by what others do or think. This is crucial for personal development, as each individual has a unique rhythm, and external comparisons can divert us from what truly matters. To apply this teaching in daily life, it's essential to start recognizing the areas where comparisons are most frequent. A common example is the use of social media, where we are constantly exposed to others' achievements. The modern Stoic might choose to limit the time spent on these platforms, or better yet, use that time to reflect on their own goals and progress. By reducing exposure to comparisons, you make room to focus on what really matters, your own growth and happiness. Another powerful strategy to stay focused is the practice of daily reflection, something the Stoics deeply valued. At the end of each day, take a few minutes to reflect on what was done and how you felt about your actions and choices without comparing yourself to others. Ask yourself, did I advance toward my own goals? This practice helps you keep your mind aligned with what is truly important to you, strengthening discipline and personal development. Stoic philosophy also teaches us that each of us has a unique purpose, and discovering and following this purpose is the path to a fulfilling life. When you focus on your own path, you avoid the trap of living according to others' expectations. For example, if your goal is to write a book, it doesn't matter that others are gaining recognition in different areas. What matters is that you are committed to what is truly meaningful to you. This commitment to yourself is what leads to true success and satisfaction. Additionally, it's important to recognize that personal progress is not linear and that obstacles are part of the journey. When we compare ourselves to others, we often forget that everyone faces different challenges. The Stoics remind us that the focus should be on overcoming our own challenges and the learning they provide. A marathon runner, for example, doesn't compare their speed with others, but with their own endurance and ability to finish the race. Likewise, we should focus on overcoming our own daily battles. This focus on your own path also reflects in how you deal with criticism and others' opinions. The Stoics believe that others' opinions should only be considered if they truly contribute to our growth. Otherwise, we should let them pass like a leaf carried by the wind. This discernment helps us maintain mental clarity and continue advancing on our path without being swayed by external influences that have no relevance to our journey. Now that you understand the importance of following your own path, it's time to broaden your perspective and adopt a wider view of life, as Marcus Aurelius teaches us. Topic 6. Broaden your perspective. Marcus Aurelius, one of the great masters of Stoicism, invites us to adopt a broader view of life, recognizing the insignificance of our concerns in the vastness of the universe. When we broaden our perspective, many of the anxieties and worries we carry dissipate, as we realize that our problems are just a small part of a much larger whole. This understanding gives us the necessary humility to live more serenely and wisely, and helps us stay focused on what really matters. Stoic philosophy teaches us to look beyond the small irritations and daily frustrations. When confronted with a stressful situation, such as traffic or a work-related argument, it's helpful to pause and reflect. Does this really matter in the grand scheme of things? By asking this simple question, you begin to see that many of the problems that cause us discomfort are actually fleeting and insignificant. The practice of broadening your perspective allows you to approach these challenges with more calmness and less reactivity. To apply this view in daily life, the Stoics recommend the practice of meditating on impermanence, reflecting on the fact that everything in life is transitory, from people to situations and even our own emotions, can be extremely liberating. Imagine, for example, that you're worried about a work presentation. By remembering that in a few months this event will be just a distant memory, you reduce the pressure you place on yourself and handle the situation more lightly and confidently. Another way to broaden your perspective is to study history and the lessons it offers. The Stoics believed that many of the problems we face today are variations of challenges that humanity has faced before. By recognizing that our difficulties are not unique but part of a long history of struggles and triumphs, we gain a more balanced and resilient view. Reading about the lives of great leaders and thinkers can be an excellent way to contextualize our problems and understand that, like them, we too can overcome them. Marcus Aurelius also reminds us of the importance of recognizing our own smallness in the vastness of the universe. When we look up at the starry sky, for example, it's hard not to feel a mix of awe and humility. Our problems, which often seem enormous, become tiny in comparison to the immensity of the cosmos. This feeling of humility not only helps us maintain serenity, but also encourages us to focus on our daily actions with more wisdom and less attachment to immediate results. Broadening your perspective also helps you cultivate patience and compassion. When we understand that each person is fighting their own battles, often invisible, we are able to judge less and help more. This doesn't mean we should accept everything passively, but that we can approach challenges with more empathy and understanding. Stoic philosophy teaches us that by seeing the bigger picture, our reactions become more measured and less impulsive. Now that you've learned the importance of broadening your perspective, imagine how relaxing it would be to accept that everything is temporary and that we don't need to cling to the relentless pursuit of status or social approval. Topic 7. Everything is temporary. Relax. Marcus Aurelius, in his Stoic wisdom, constantly reminds us that everything in life is temporary. The relentless pursuit of status and social approval can trap us in a never-ending race. But by understanding that fame and recognition are fleeting, we can begin to relax and focus on what truly matters. Stoicism teaches us that instead of chasing temporary glory, we should invest our time and energy in developing internal virtues and becoming better people. After all, in the end, we all share the same fate. This understanding can be liberating. Imagine, for example, someone who spends most of their life trying to achieve superficial success, only to later realize that it didn't bring the happiness they expected. By remembering that everything is temporary, we begin to question where we should really place our efforts. The modern Stoic recognizes that true fulfillment comes from living according to our principles, rather than constantly seeking others' approval. Stoicism suggests that instead of worrying about how we will be remembered or what others think, we should focus on being good people in the present. This means cultivating virtues such as wisdom, justice, courage, and moderation. These qualities not only help us live a fuller and more meaningful life, but also protect us from the anxieties that arise when we fixate on things beyond our control, like others' opinions or worldly success. Accepting that everything is temporary also helps us deal with the pressures of modern life. We live in an era where we are constantly pressured to be successful, whether at work, on social media, or in our personal lives. But what does success really mean? The Stoics invite us to redefine this concept, not in terms of external achievements, but in terms of internal growth. When we understand that most of the things we struggle for today will be irrelevant in the future, we can relax and live more authentically. This acceptance also extends to our relationships. We often worry excessively about what others think of us, or about the need to maintain certain appearances. But Stoicism reminds us that opinions are temporary and that what really matters is how we behave and relate to others in our daily lives. By focusing on being a good person, regardless of how others see us, we find inner peace that is immune to external fluctuations. Finally, by understanding that everything is temporary, we can begin to live more lightly. We don't need to cling to what we can't control, such as others' approval or material success. Instead, we can focus on cultivating a life that is meaningful to us, based on values that truly matter. In doing so, we discover that true freedom comes from within, and that the pursuit of status and external validation is an illusion that, once recognized, loses its power over us. Now that you understand that everything is temporary and can relax, imagine how it would be to face adversities head-on, seeing each challenge as an opportunity to strengthen your character. Topic 8. Face adversities head-on. Adversities are an inevitable part of life, but according to Stoic philosophy, they should not be feared. On the contrary, they are precious opportunities to exercise our virtues and strengthen our character. Seneca, one of the great masters of Stoicism, believed that those who have never faced challenges do not know the true value of overcoming. Life without difficulties is a life without growth. Facing adversities head-on is what transforms us, making us more resilient, wiser, and above all, more human. When confronted with a challenge, the modern Stoic should adopt a stance of curiosity and determination. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" they should ask, "What can I learn from this?" For example, if you face a difficult situation at work, such as a conflict with a colleague, instead of avoiding confrontation or giving in to frustration, the Stoic approach would be to see this as an opportunity to practice patience, empathy, and clear communication. This is true personal development, where each adversity becomes a step toward a stronger and better version of yourself. Facing adversities with courage also means accepting that suffering is part of the growth process. The Stoics believed that just as iron is tempered by fire, our character is shaped by trials. When an adversity presents itself, we should not run from it or hide, but face it with courage and determination. This not only strengthens us, but also better prepares us to face future challenges with a calmer mind and a firmer heart. A practical example of facing adversities head-on is the practice of negative visualization, a Stoic technique that involves imagining the worst possible scenarios. Although this may seem counterintuitive, this practice helps prepare the mind to face any difficulty without being caught off guard. By mentally visualizing and accepting adversities before they occur, you reduce the emotional impact when they actually arise. This not only strengthens your resilience, but also helps you maintain serenity in moments of crisis. Moreover, the Stoics teach us that adversities are tests that reveal who we really are. When everything is going well, it's easy to be virtuous, but it's in difficulties that our true colors show. Facing life's challenges with integrity and courage is what defines the modern Stoic. Whether it's a financial problem, an illness, or a troubled relationship, each adversity is an opportunity to demonstrate inner strength and move toward your ideal of becoming a better person. It's also important to remember that facing adversities does not mean blindly fighting against them. but rather approaching them with wisdom. Sometimes the best way to deal with a challenge is to adapt to it, find a new strategy, or even accept a loss with dignity. The Stoics understand that stubborn resistance against the inevitable can cause more suffering. Therefore, when facing adversities, it's essential to balance courage with wisdom, knowing when to fight and when to yield with grace. And so, by facing adversities head-on with courage and wisdom, you prepare yourself to seize each new day as an opportunity to start fresh. Topic 9. A new opportunity always. Each new day offers us the chance to start over, to leave the past behind and focus on the present with renewed determination. Stoicism teaches us that just as nature constantly renews itself, so can and should we. Regardless of what happened yesterday, today is a new opportunity to be a better person, make wiser choices, and face life with courage and serenity. This is one of the most powerful lessons the Stoics offer us, the power of daily renewal. Imagine waking up every morning with the awareness that the day ahead is a blank canvas. No matter what happened before, you have the opportunity to write a new story, to do things differently, to act according to the principles you value. If yesterday you were carried away by anger or sadness, today could be the day you practice patience and joy. This approach transforms life into a series of continuous opportunities for growth and personal development, where each day is a new chance to get closer to who you truly want to be. The Stoics firmly believed in the importance of living in the present, and the idea that each new day is an opportunity to start fresh is closely linked to this philosophy. Instead of dwelling on the past or worrying excessively about the future, the Stoics encourage us to concentrate our energy on what we can do today. This mindset not only frees us from the burden of regret and anxiety, but also gives us the clarity needed to act with purpose and intention in the present moment. At every dawn, the modern Stoic should ask themselves, what can I do today to become a better person? This type of morning reflection is a powerful practice that aligns your mind with your values and goals. Whether it's starting a new healthy habit, resuming a project left aside, or simply adopting a more positive attitude, each day offers the chance to make small changes that over time turn into significant progress. This practice of starting anew each day is what allows personal development to become a continuous and rewarding journey. Stoic philosophy also reminds us that while we cannot change the past, we can influence our future through the actions we take today. This gives us a tremendous sense of power and control over our lives. If something didn't go as planned yesterday, today you have the opportunity to adjust the course, learn from mistakes, and try again with more wisdom and experience. This resilience is what allows us to overcome adversities and keep moving forward, no matter the obstacles that arise. Furthermore, the concept of daily renewal helps us better deal with the inevitable ups and downs of life. When we understand that each day brings the possibility of a new beginning, we are less likely to despair in the face of difficulties. Instead, we see each challenge as part of the growth process, knowing that tomorrow we will have a new chance to try again. This mindset not only makes us more resilient, but also more optimistic and motivated to continue on our personal development journey. Now that you understand the power of daily renewal, imagine how it would be to look beyond the emotions that distort reality and learn to see things objectively and clearly. Topic 10. Look beyond emotions. Emotions often act as lenses that distort our perception of reality, leading us to react impulsively and disproportionately. Stoicism teaches us that to live in a balanced and wise way, it is essential to learn to look beyond these emotions, separating facts from our emotional judgments. This doesn't mean suppressing or ignoring feelings, but rather developing them in a conscious and objective way. By doing so, we gain mental clarity and prevent small situations from turning into major dramas. A practical example of this approach is when we face a conflict situation. Imagine a heated argument with a co-worker. The immediate emotional reaction might be anger or frustration, but the modern Stoic seeks to take a step back and analyze the situation calmly. By separating what actually happened from the feelings involved, you can respond more thoughtfully and effectively. This not only resolves the conflict more peacefully, but also strengthens your communication and problem-solving skills. To achieve this clarity, the Stoics recommend the practice of reflective meditation. Dedicating a few minutes a day to reviewing the situations that occurred and how you reacted to them can be enlightening. Ask yourself, did my emotions reflect reality, or were they amplified by my fears and insecurities? This type of self-analysis helps develop greater self-awareness and train the mind to respond rather than react to challenging situations. Over time, this practice becomes a powerful tool for maintaining serenity amid chaos. Furthermore, the Stoics believe that emotions are often the result of unrealistic expectations. When we expect life to always be fair or people to always act according to our desires, we set ourselves up for disappointment and suffering. By adjusting these expectations and accepting that the world is imperfect, we can reduce the intensity of our emotional reactions. This doesn't mean becoming apathetic, but rather developing a quiet acceptance of life's imperfections and the people around us. Another important aspect of looking beyond emotions is understanding that they are temporary. Just like clouds in the sky, emotions come and go, and we don't need to identify with them. When you feel anxious, for example, Stoicism teaches that this anxiety does not define who you are. By recognizing that emotions are temporary, you gain the freedom not to be controlled by them. This allows you to make more rational and focused decisions, even in moments of great emotional pressure. Finally, Stoicism reminds us that true inner peace comes from the ability to observe our emotions without being dominated by them. When we learn to see things objectively, without emotional filters, we become more resilient and less susceptible to mood swings. This not only improves the quality of our decisions, but also helps us maintain healthier and more balanced relationships, both with ourselves and with others. By developing this skill, you'll be better prepared to face life's challenges with wisdom and calm. Now that you understand how essential it is to look beyond emotions, we can apply all this knowledge in practice, leading a more serene life aligned with Stoic principles. Imagine how your life would be if you applied these Stoic teachings day after day, becoming stronger, more balanced and happier. Wouldn't it be incredible? Now I want to invite you, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. This way, you won't miss any tips on how to continue on this path of growth and personal development. Let's go together, because the power to change your life is in your hands.